Jack, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Ooh, loud. Yeah.
Well, you should. You could have talked. Anyways, once again, we'll say this again. Welcome to another paranormal Q&A with Jack, Kenna, and Carly Hall. I think we had just a momentary lapse on our audio there, so we're okay. Carly couldn't hear me anyway. I don't know if anybody else could. So we're here. No guests tonight, just us. So as always, we're here to answer your questions. I have a question.
Yes.
I can't remember what it was, though. I was going to have a question for people. Hello, Karen. Yeah, I did. I wanted to have a question. It needs to have cue cards or something. That's all. It's going to be actually. I got an idea. We're going to maybe start something new where we ask a question regarding the paranormal every night. Here's my question to everybody out there tonight. Ellen McNeil, I see Ellen's on. Hello, Ellen. Ellen should know the answer to this question I'm going to actually ask. It's related to paranormal investigating, and it has to do with equipment. So I'm going to ask this. Actually, anybody who took my course out there, I see Bob Maloney. Bobby Carter. Let me see. There's a few. Anyways, Ellen should know the answer to this one, too. I'm going to put Ellen on the spot. And I got to see if Ellen knows. But she's not a tech person, so maybe she won't know. It is technical in nature. The question is, let's see if you know this, Carly. You've investigated with me long enough. You should know by now. When using your when you're using your digital audio recorder, okay, when using that, which setting should you use on your digital to assuming it has different options on it? Most do, but on your digital audio recorder, what's the best setting to use? And it's actually a format, right? A recording format, which is the best recording format to use for trying to capture EVPs. Is it an MPEG format, a WAV format, which is what we call wave format, or what's the other one? It's like a Windows WMA, Windows Media Audio format. WMA is the other one. So you got a choice. Which is the best one? I want you guys to answer out there who listen. Give me the correct answer. Which is the best recording format to use when trying to capture EVPs? Is it MPEG, Wave, or WMA, Windows Media Audio? Which is the best format to use? I'm going to ask that question. And it has to do with, well, let's see who answers the question first. Emily Mason says wave format. Yeah, it's actually WAV, right? I shouldn't correct people, but wave is, I know what wave is good enough. Bob Burnell says wave. Yep. Shell says wave. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Everybody's going for the wave format, huh? Wave. I don't know. What did you say, Ellen? What did...
UI Wimby?
Winby? I'll guess wave. Bob Maloney says he'll guess wave. Wave. Actually, it's I would say most people are right. It is wave, but it's actually a trick question. It's actually a trick question because technically you could use any one of those formats. Actually, WMA it has to do with compression, using an uncompressed format. Okay. Now, what some wave is the best if you use the highest uncompressed format available on the recorder. But as you can also use MPEG at its most highest uncompressed format. And the same for, actually, I think WMA is just a strictly kind of an uncompressed format. I forget if there's different options on WMA. But the true answer is you make sure you're using a uncompressed recording format because compression can distort the audio. But wave is typically, yes, that's the highest uncompressed format you can use is the wave format in its highest uncompressed mode, which goes way up until like uncompressed stereo format and stuff like that. But if you didn't have wave option on your digital recorder, as long as you're using a lot of them use an MPEG format. As long as you're using the highest uncompressed MPEG format available on that recorder, you can still get some good EVPs and stuff too. I do tend to, for sharing purposes, compress it down. I take the original wave format and I'll save it as one of the higher uncompressed MPEG formats because it does create a small file. It does compress it slightly, and it's easier to email. Right? So I'm taking a clip out, and so I do that for that period because usually you'll still hear that EVP once you've found it. You pulled it out, you'll find it. Mackie James is here. I see Mackie James. Narwhal. She's talking about narwhal. that's what Ellen was talking about. Carly is wearing her.
I am a narwhal.
Yeah, is wearing her new narwhal shirt. All right. So I didn't let Carly actually answer that question, but I know she knew it anyway. She was helping me teach the course. So yeah. But yes, wave is the best uncompressed format you can use.
Because if you think about it, I mean, you can even catch EVPs on your phone,
yes,
which use like more like MP3 type files.
Yep. Oh, I see Chelsea's on as well. Hello, Chelsea. Sorry, Carly, just saying hi to anybody out there. Emily Mason, see you out there. Hello. So welcome to everyone tonight. Charity, see you out there. I'll try to catch everybody. Barry March, yes, Barry. Wave format. Good. So everybody's learning something again today. Everybody said, well, they didn't learn anything. They all knew it. So, what the hell? Yeah. It's a bunch of smart people out there.
They are.
They are. They're our friends. They better be.
Yeah.
Just kidding, people. We love you. We love you no matter what.
Hey, at least these guys check their go over their evidence because then that's how they know.
Obviously, yes, they do. A lot of and that's good because that's a big part. If you're really serious about investigating, you got to go through the audio, and that can be a pain in itself because if you captured a lot of audio, if you did hours and hours and hours and hours like we do on investigations, you got a lot of audio. Bob Maloney knows that. He's been with us, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like to say every hour of audio that you collect, it takes 2 hours to go over.
Just about. Yeah, an hour and a half sometimes. Depends on how. Once you get more used to doing it, you kind of know what to listen for. You actually do get an ear for it. You can actually go through it almost. It'll still take you a little over an hour, but to go through an hour of audio, but you can do it. Bob Purnell has a question for me. What frequency do you find most VPs in? Or are they all over the place? In hertz, yes, in the hertz range. I've actually captured them in both the higher frequency and lower frequency. Bob, just depended. on the EVP. I mean, it's kind of, most, I would say, tend to be in the lower frequency. I have captured some in the higher frequency. Um, you know, like dog ear range, but most of them, yeah, I'd say most of them were more in the lower hertz ranges. And that's based on voice comparisons, because I actually have a tool I'll use sometimes if I think it's one of our people. I've taken clips of everybody's voices and words, and I found the hertz range for their formant, which is called the fifth formant, which is always pretty much the same for every, not the same for every person, but every person's fifth formant will remain pretty much within the same hertz range. So I have found other ones that are EVPs, that we know are EVPs, that are found in the lower hertz range, and I have found some that are in the higher hertz range. So it's very interesting stuff. And if somebody wants to know what that program is I'm using, it's actually a free program online. It's a voice forensic program. I'll have to look it up again. But I can get that to you if you guys want to check that out. But to make that work properly, you have to take a clip of, it's a little complicated program, but you have to take a clip of each investigator's voice, look at that small section, find the fifth formant for each investigator. I usually pick a few words, and I found they're pretty much always, it's correct, it's pretty much always the same. And then, so if you've got three people, if you've got two people in the room talking, and this third one comes in, you can check it to see if it's one of your people or if it's not. And it'll tell you if it's not any of your people and nobody else was there, then whose voice is that? Yeah, you can use, you use a spectrum analyzer. Yep, I use that. Actually, the program that I use has that built into it for checking things like that. If you want to get into that, I don't get into that too much. I mean, I have checked it in the past, Bob, only because most of the investigations we're doing really aren't trying to kind of prove the existence of the paranormal. We're more out there really just helping people and stuff. So I really don't get, I mean, I did in the past just for my own edification and for understanding about EVPs and stuff, did that. But the focus for us is mostly on helping those people experiencing paranormal activity. Like, again, if I do have a question of whose voice am I capturing, I use this other program sometimes to take a look at it. But I know everybody's voice on our team now so well that I can tell when it's them or not. But if I do have a question about it or is questionable, I will pull it up and play it back. And I have caught Ellen making jokes sometimes where I thought it was an EVP, and I pulled it up in that program, ran it, and sure enough, it was Ellen's voice. So, Carl Mitchell, there you are. Yes, Audacity is a good program, Bob. It's a good program. I use... it's actually a free online program. I do recommend it for my course for people who getting into the paranormal don't want to spend a lot. It's a good program. I still use it. I don't do a lot with my audio anymore. I'll boost the volume a little bit. That's about it. I don't modify it too much in any way. I don't try to filter anything out. I really got into the point of just looking for what is an obvious EVP. But I use a WavePad sound editor. It's by NCH or NHC. I always forget the company. But yeah, you can look that up, and it's a free download. It is a purchase software. It'll tell you, unless you purchase this, but it is free for home use. You just keep telling it you're only using it for home use, and it's fine. It's free. Yes, Eric. I know. WavePad is a good program. I actually have the paid version of it. Thank you, Carly, for putting that up. NCH, yes, .com WavePad. So there it is. Carly posted it up there for you. I've used it for years and years and years now. It's a good program. Like I said, I do have a paid version of it. It works great. It's very simple to use, and I'll be honest, I like it better than Audacity. I do. That's just personal preference, though. Audacity is a very good program. It's one of the best out there. But WavePad is pretty darn good for what we're doing with it. I mean, for what we're working on with it. at least again for what I'm doing with it. I mean, which is just trying to present, whatever evidence we do find to somebody out there. I'm not trying to prove the existence of the paranormal, but we do go through and we do debunk or anything we collect as evidence, right, Carly? I mean, we'll try to figure out if it's one of us or not, and I will use that other forensic software if I need to. I'm gonna look that up, by the way. The forensic voice software. Actually, it's probably easier if I go over my other computer and just look at where that program is. Pardon me while I'm halfway off screen. I just want to give this to you guys in case somebody wants to see it. I actually think I mentioned it in my book there too. I think I do anyway. Let me see. That's VideoPad. I use VideoPad for my audio editing too. I do like that program too. There's better programs than that out there, but I do like that one. Yeah, just because it's simple to use. I can't find it. Hey guys, you guys got any other questions for us out there? Bob says he has some Pro Tools as well. Yeah, it's a good program. Again, Audacity is a very good program to use. I got nothing against it. I just prefer WavePad. Actually, there's a couple new things out there now. There's something called digitalforensics.com. It's for voice analysis. These are all voice analysis programs. So, anyways, it's something I'll find out what the one is that I'm using, and I'll get that to you guys because it is a free software, and I actually can even give you a link. Oh, I know where it is. It's in my media file. Mediafire.com. I keep a copy of it in there. If people want, I can set up a folder where you can download that from. But anyway, so what do you guys? Hope everybody had it gets back to the weekend for a second. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed the 4th of July. A lot of craziness out there again. We don't get into politics too much. I tried just saying something very simple the other day. Oh, observation. That's all it really was. Observation. And boy, I got beat up for it. So I took it down. But it's kind of ridiculous. You can't even make an observation or suggestion these days. My sister asked if the ones on the phones work for this. Well, your audio recorder, you have an audio recorder on your phone that works. Yes, I don't try editing off my phone. But listening back to audio, there's different programs are good enough for listening back to it. And, excuse me, I haven't slept in about 24 hours. But Shell, there is a good program on there. Here it is, Pratt. It's called the voice forensic program is called Pratt, P-R-A-A-T. If you look that up, you can probably download it. But I have it in a zip file. If somebody ever wants that, let me know. I can give you a link to it. I don't know if I can do it from here. But yes, you can copy link. You can share that out there. And let's see. I'm going to try to share that link out there. And I think you should be able to click that link and download that program if you want it. So try that if you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, if somebody else has a program they really like, they want to share it on here, feel free. I see Bob did, and that's perfectly fine. And Carl says, yes, it's in page 54 to 50, 55 in my book. Okay. Hey, at least somebody remembers. Look, I wrote the book. I can't remember every chapter and every section, but I do have sections on audio and all that. It's funny. You write something, you do the whole thing, and you forget. Which is why I use it as my only even my own reference book. But yes, the audio recorder on your phone is actually a pretty good recorder these days because it's also in high def, which means it's a fairly good uncompressed format. Remember that. So if you find yourself without a digital recorder and you do have a smartphone or an Apple phone, iPhone, go ahead and use your recorder on there. I've actually done that in locations when I go on travel, and I didn't bring it anyway because I wasn't on travel for doing paranormal stuff. I was on travel for work, but I went to different locations. So I just used my phone for video, for photos, and for audio recording. And of course, everybody knows I use different apps. I get beat up for that a lot too. I don't really care. Apps are no good. They're junk. It's all fraud. It's all fake. Hey, use something for 9 years and compare it to what you've caught on other things, including audio and other devices and K2s. At the same time, you're getting other activity on those devices, and then tell me it's junk. I actually even got a longtime investigator to finally believe it. When he had he goes, those are, I really think they're junk. I don't trust any of them. And so we were using Ghost Radar. Well, he had and you got to use them in airplane mode. Anytime you're using these things, make sure your phone is in airplane mode. Audio recorder, not so much. That's it. But if you're using these ghost apps, make sure your phone is in airplane mode so you're not getting false hits from it. But anyways, so I was using Ghost Radar. He had his oh my god, what's the device with the lights and the antenna? Oh my god, the
REM pod.
REM pod. Yeah, thank you. My mind is going. I'm getting old. He had his REM pod out.
No.
Every time he was getting hits on his REM pod, we were also getting blips on the Ghost Radar and words coming through it in regards to who he was trying to talk to. He was trying to talk to this female spirit, and it was indicating it was a female spirit, and it even gave a name at one point, and he goes, oh my God, that's the actual name, because he knew the location. I'm like, I didn't know anything about the location. He did. So he was like, I really need to relook at this and look into these a little bit more. I said, yeah, I've been doing it for 8 years, 7 years at the time. So he's still somewhat of a skeptic, but it kind of really pushed him in the other direction. I won't say who that was, but it was kind of funny to watch it happen. And it's like, I tried to tell you, so it is funny when you get that. And how many years did it take, Ellen says, to me to believe in the Ghost Rider? About 7 years, Ellen. It took 7 years. And me getting you to really sit down with it and use it. And you started getting hits on it and information through it while you were getting stuff on, I think, a K2 at the time. Yeah, it took you a long time, too. So, yeah, but, that's part of research of equipment, Again, I used it for 5 years before I even started considering putting anything from it as potential evidence to a client or anything. But into that 6th year, 7th year, I had no doubts and you got to know what can be junk and what can be related to the location. Because a lot of the words we got through it, a lot of the blips, and kind of was using like a K2. Give me 2 blips for yes, 1 for no. Regards to questions, answers, things like that. And I apologize for yawning. So we did all that, and Carly's seen it too. But it was consistent. It really was consistent. So. Are we both going to MassCon? When is MassCon now? I forget, Carly. Are we going to that? Check my schedule. I don't know if I'm going. Am I going? When is MassCon? Where's my thing? Where's my? I got to go to my website to be jackkenna.org. jackkenna.org. You can check out my entire schedule of events there. Let's see. Am I going to MassCon? I thought I was signed up for it. Canceled, postponed. Unless Portland, Maine get rescheduled. Did Portland, Maine get rescheduled? Does anybody know? I can't remember. I don't think I'm going to MassCon.
I don't see it.
I
didn't hear anything
Is it
about
actually
it thus
MassCon,
far.
or are you talking about PlymouthCon? We will be at PlymouthCon. We'll be at the Haldeman Mansion, October 3rd through 4th. I still have plans to go to Scarefest, unless that's got canceled. I have to check on that. Central PA Paranormal Convention, October 30th through November 1st. That would be the last one this year that we have listed. Plymouth Con, September 25th through 27th. Selma Mansion, September 19th through 20th. Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, July 24th through 26th. Everything else we have either canceled or postponed. First thing we were at this year was Rochester Winter Parafest, and that was back February 29th, and that was the last thing we went to. First and last thing we went to. That was a great con there, too. Yeah, too many words, Ellen's saying, too many words would correspond to what we were investigating finally won me over. Yep, couldn't explain it. Yep, that's what did get her in the end. Holly Prue says Plymouth. Yes, I'll be there. We'll be there at Plymouth. Ellen says November 6th and 7th. You're talking to Ellen. You're talking about Portland? About Chris's event? Is that Portland? All right, so did it get moved to November? I'll have to look at that. Oh, I don't know if I can. I think we can make that. I don't know though, because the next weekend, the weekend of the 14th, is my son's wedding, so I may have to cancel out. I don't know yet. I'll have to see. I should be able. I think we can make that. I need to update that on the website then. Okay. So we'll be at quite a few events. I got to look into whether we're going to be able to actually make Portland, Maine, Paracon 2. So I'll have to look into that. All right. We'll look into that. But somebody said MassCon. Which is that what they were? Is that what you guys were talking about though? The Plymouth Con, or is there a separate MassCon? I don't even know.
I think there's a separate MassCon from what
Is
I
it?
saw.
No, I wasn't invited to that, so not that I'm aware of. We got a lot going on in the background this year, so any luck, we'll have some good news coming up. Something that might surprise some people out there. But I can't say anything just yet. We'll see what happens. Oh, Barry had an EDI question for me. All right, let me go back up, Barry, and take a look at that. Okay, here, I think I found it, Barry. Okay, so if this is it. Do you have and or use EDI equipment? If so, what are your thoughts on using this equipment and ghost hunting? No, I don't have any EDI equipment. I'm not sure where I stand on it. I'd like to know a little bit more about it. I'm actually looking something up right now. I mean, I know they're another type of meter and stuff like that. Oh, Yes. All right. Never mind. I do not have one of these. I'm just looking at it now. Friend
Oh,
Steve
these.
Coles does. I know what it is. I don't know why I didn't
I saw
remember
the
what
picture of it,
the
and I was like,
items.
"Oh, that thing." Yes.
Yeah, I know. I don't have one. I don't use it. I have seen them used. I've been there when they've been used, and they are very interesting. I think you can get some. I think like anything else, you can get some good information off of them. The question becomes when you start getting into pricing: is it worth having for what you're doing in the paranormal? Uh, for my purposes, it's probably not worth really having, to be honest. Not for the expense of it. Um, I try to keep my costs down a little bit just because, again, of what we're doing. I think if you're really investigating in the paranormal, of trying to really gather data and information and um, get some good solid evidence for the purposes of trying to is the spirit world really exist or not, or is there life after death, or some other portion of that you're trying to figure out, is it something else. Might be it's a good device for some people to have. I don't know if I want to spend $200 on one. Personally, I'd rather invest that into a better camera. That's me. But they are a very interesting device, and they are useful, and they do capture some good evidence. I've seen it, so well worth having. If you're really into the investigating, if you're not doing much investigating, if you're not doing a lot of it, I wouldn't put the expense into it personally, but that's just my opinion. I don't, not that I don't think it works. I do know it does work. It's just whether it's worth that expense to you or not for how much you're investigating. Um, I think devices like that are great for some of these locations to have that are doing ghost hunts and stuff like that. Great pieces of equipment because it's very visual. You're just trying to see if you're connecting with a spirit out there and stuff, and it can give you that. It can also help you debunk things, whether it's another power source or somebody walking on the floor, things. Pardon me, things like that. So, and Bob says he has one and he loves it. I know you do a lot of investigating, Bob. I mean, for different various reasons, but you're doing a lot. Um, would it be worth for me to have it in our thing for Spirits of New England or one of our other teams? Rensselaer Paranormal Research. Yeah, it probably would. But again, for what I'm doing, which is helping people who are experiencing paranormal activity, not really necessary. Because when you're presenting evidence back to people, a lot of these people aren't technically inclined. That's not to put them down. They don't understand how some of this stuff works. So you want to keep it simple. You want to keep it to some basics. Um, so that it's just easier to present evidence to people later on. That's all I'm getting at. So that's my thoughts on that. So that's Barry's question. But EDI, yep, okay. I know, yeah. I don't know why I didn't think I knew what that was, but I do. I just didn't recognize the name. That's all. Uh, and Barry March says, okay, Bob, thanks. I have to check this one out and go stop. Yeah, as a matter of fact, yep, that's where I was right now. If you want to check that little device out, here's the link.
Bob posted it.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay, good. Oh, thank you. Never mind. I don't need to reshare it. Oh, you posted something too.
Yeah, from another website that I had.
Oh, okay.
I think it has more information on it, like how it was designed and stuff.
Gotcha. Well, it's all good stuff in the end. So we got a lot of good questions on equipment today. Well, I kind of started off with a question I asked, I guess. It's a good question. I thought it was a good question.
Yeah.
So, any other questions today? Anything else other paranormal related? Remember, we cover everything here. We don't just talk about ghosts and stuff. We cover pretty much everything. Sorry today, folks. I get my back has been bothering me the last couple nights, and I have gotten basically about 2 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours, to be honest, and so I'm a little exhausted right now. But we're here for you. Remember, this is your show, really. We answer your questions about all things paranormal. So, another question I could just throw out there just because, um, um, can anybody give me what? Go ahead.
Delaney said hi. Delaney
No,
said
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just coming up with something in my head, so go ahead.
hi. So I wanted to say, I said Delaney said hi, so I was like,
Oh,
hi.
Delaney. Oh, okay. Delaney's
Yeah.
online. Okay, I see Delaney in there. Oh, how you doing, Delaney? We miss you. Haven't seen you in a while. Since February.
I know, it's crazy.
It was the first time you met her and the last time you saw her.
Yep.
Thanks for posting that link, Bob. Bob Burnell. Appreciate that. Who can, you guys all should be able to answer this one anyway. Just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. Somebody out there give me the actual definition of paranormal. Not what you think it means. What the actual definition is. Just for the heck of it. Now we can discuss that. What is paranormal? Anyway, paranormal is used for a lot of things, right? It's used to pretty much describe every field within that realm. Sarah, you should have just posted that right to Ellen. If Sarah's listening, just tell her she should have posted that right to the forum. It would have been fine.
What?
Well, actually, she probably was afraid to put that in the form. What happens every time you yawn? What a ghost does. Can I share this with? I can share this with. I can forward it. I'm going to forward it to you, Carly. Not if I put my hand in front of my mouth, though, Sarah.
I have an idea of what this is gonna be.
I'm sending it to Ellen too because I don't know if Sarah must be listening. Of course, she's listening tonight.
Oh yeah, no, she's popped on.
Oh, did she? Oh, okay.
That's not how I thought it was gonna be.
That's why I always put my hand in front of my mouth when I yawn.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Sarah sent it to me too. I have too much of an innocent mind.
Ellen told her not to. Ellen, you of all people, I would have thought would have posted that one yourself.
That made my day.
Well, if you change one word to a little bit more acceptable word, you could post that on here.
Honestly, I mean, Jack, your hand's not really gonna do much because they can like go through things, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, shut up. Nobody knows what we're well, some people probably know it.
Anyway.
And Ellen, yes, I know she's sitting right there. I could have said another word, but that wouldn't have been good. And so yes, it is. I mean, back to the question, Bob Maloney posed something, and Barry Marshall says something that as an experience that we can't explain or find some logical explanation for. That's pretty much it. That is not normal, and Bob Maloney says something that is not normal, and there is not an explanation to explain it. That's pretty much the actual definition. Yes, that's correct. Which kind of covers a huge variety of things. It's not really, we always say paranormal. Everybody thinks of ghosts and ghost hunting and stuff, but it's really not. It's everything. I mean, everything that we can't really explain. Even if it has been explained 20 years later, you know. I mean, science is working on things that they would say was paranormal, that they've found the answer for things. So it's not just even in the realm of ghost hunting or UFOs or Bigfoot or anything like that. That's what we work with it in. But when in the work that I do, I mean, we have anomalies happen while testing an equipment that we could say is paranormal. We can't explain it. Don't know why it happened. Shouldn't have happened. But it did. It's above the normal of what should happen, but it happens. And we got to try to research and figure out why it happened. And sometimes we never find an explanation for it. It's kind of what we call an outlier, right? It's an outlier. It was just a random event that took place that may not ever happen again, or even if it does happen again, it could be way down the road before we ever see it happen again. But it is paranormal nature. It doesn't have a real explanation for it, and we can't find one.
So I
So,
have a follow-up question with that for them. What are the requirements in order for something that's considered paranormal to be considered normal?
what?
Like, say something paranormal happened, and
Yeah,
we,
I'm just saying, repeat the question. That's all. I just want to make sure.
what are the requirements in order for something that was paranormal to become normal?
Well, you had to find the actual reason for it.
That was the,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You have to find the actual reason for it happening. The
I know.
the events that take place that make it occur. I mean, some of us could say realistically. I mean, working in the paranormal. I mean, there's some things that we may have been able to figure out somewhat now for why they do happen.
Yeah, you gave them the answer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did before anyway. I
No, I
said there's
know.
things we have to try to prove or disprove.
Well,
Yeah, they
yeah,
know
but
the answer.
okay.
They know the answer. Oh, you were asking it to see if they knew the answer. I see what you're saying. I'm sorry, I stepped on your toes there. I didn't mean to do that.
It's
Carl
okay.
asks, no, it's not fine. I shouldn't have paid. I should have paid more attention to what you were trying to say there. Carl asks if I ever had a UFO sighting. Yes, I have. Up in Canada, more than one. Just things I couldn't explain what they were. I do believe one was just an asteroid coming through the atmosphere. These others, though, were UFOs. I don't know how else to explain it. They were so far up in the sky, they looked like pinpoints of light, but they came darting into a huge electrical storm that was north of our fishing camp up in the boonies and we're way up in the boonies of Quebec. You got flying by float plane to get to the camp. There's no roads, no nothing. But these little dots of light, about four of them came darting into this at speeds I've never seen. We don't have anything that moves this fast. And then they gyrated over the storm, and then they each took off straight up into the atmosphere instantaneously. I don't know what those were. They're UFOs, unidentified flying objects. They were flying, they were moving. I don't know what they were. I've also seen a Bigfoot up at Kinderhook Creek.
That's awesome.
Didn't took me years to even mention it to anybody because it's just very weird. It's something I just didn't want to tell anybody about. It was just odd. And when I met Steve Coles for the very first time, I told him about it because he is the Squatch detective, and he's a main guy in our New York State area, I believe. He's kind of the guy as far as I'm concerned for New York State and all things Bigfoot. He's also a minister who I call him he's an exorcist, but he doesn't use that term. He's a minister and he specializes in spiritual warfare. So that's his term. That's the way he puts it about. But yeah, he's an exorcist, and he's very good at what he does on both fronts. So it's kind of interesting that he does both those things,
Yeah.
and he's very good at it.
Speaking of Steve, he has a new book that just came out, right?
Yes, Steve does. If you're into the Bigfoot stuff, Steve Culls, look him up on here on Facebook. There's also called the Squatch Detective. He has a brand new book out on that subject, and I think it's already available on Amazon.com if you want to go check it out. But you can look it up by Steve Culls. All right, Kulls. Steve, I think you know how to spell that, but it's Kulls. And Sky Ray wrote to you, Carly. She sent an audio of a UFO to Helena King last week. Oh, very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool that you.
Jeez, wow! I'm just falling apart tonight. Oh, I probably got the corroded virus. That's it.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I got the sneeze you on virus. Yeah.
You got the man flu. So you got
the what?
The man flu?
Probably. Sky says she couldn't record it, saw lights, then it vanished. I couldn't hear it. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of UFO stuff, especially here in our Hudson Valley. We actually get a lot of UFO sightings all up and down the Hudson Valley area, even especially down around New York City. People don't talk about that much, but that's true. And Sky, yes, I at the time I saw the Bigfoot, or I was like, I didn't know what the heck it was, to be honest with you. I wasn't afraid of it. I could tell you that much. It didn't scare me. I'd taken a weekday off to go fishing, and nobody was up in the spot I was fishing. And I walked down to it, and about, I don't know, 30, 50 yards down on the opposite side of the stream, the creek. It's almost like a small river. It's a creek. I was fishing, which is it's about 50 yards across, maybe less, maybe 30 yards across, and probably about 30 to 50 yards down. This thing was leaning down at the edge of the water, drinking the water, just kind of slurping it up. And I thought, oh my God, is that a bear? And then it stood up on two legs, looked at me, looked kind of human, but it was all covered in brown hair. It wasn't much taller than a bear. It was like 6 foot, maybe a little over, about 6 foot, about an average tall guy's height, maybe a little over. Then it turned and it looked at me, and then it turned and walked off into the woods on the other side. Walked off on two legs like a person. I've seen bears stand up. It wasn't a bear. And there's no brown-faced bears I know of around us. This walked like a person, but a little bit more gaudier, a little bit big, broad shoulders, not really much neck. I walked off into the woods, and I kind of couldn't see it after that. So I stayed and fished for about 20 minutes until I felt like something was watching me. So I felt a little uncomfortable, so I left. But I never really told anybody about it. It was just really weird. Oh, I didn't know. Shelley said she saw one up in Maine about 10 years ago. I do believe it. I mean, I saw one myself. I never told anybody about it until I met Steve. And that was the first time I told anybody about my experience. And it was just not far from my home here in Rensselaer, New York, up on the Kinderhook Creek, about 20 miles away, 25 miles away. And Barry, yes, Steve Cole's show is on Sunday nights. I believe he comes on at 9. Yeah, great show, great guy. He's actually been on radio for podcast radio stuff for a very long time. He's now doing live video. It's kind of like what we do, but covers a lot more things. He's on YouTube. It goes live on YouTube, Facebook, a whole bunch of the different venues. And he's been doing it for a very, very long time, and has some very common sense, smart insights into it all. So if you really want to hear my guys who's really researched a lot of stuff and been out there and does field work every year, check out Steve Coles. I'm surprised he hasn't had his own show by now, to be honest with you. I think he should. I think he'd bring a whole new perspective to it all. Okay, so here's a question from William Earl. What would you recommend for a new... Oh, hang on. It jumped on me, William. I'm going to post it up here. What would you recommend for a new psychic medium who wants to get into working with paranormal investigations on cases? Carly, I'll let you take that.
Yeah. So the first thing that I would stress for them learning is spiritual protection, because since they are a psychic medium and they have abilities, that kind of makes them more of like a bright light in a dark room in order for like spirits to try to attach so that they can communicate. So definitely start with spiritual protection. I would recommend shadowing also another psychic medium so that they can kind of get a grasp, because sometimes it can get very overwhelming with investigations. So it's good to shadow somebody so that you can validate your own what you're picking up on, along with how to deal with the emotions and experiences that you come across from that aspect. Definitely a lot of grounding and shielding, some meditation before and after. What I like to do personally is I like to do what's called like a light bath. Pretty much before and after an investigation, I take a shower. I imagine my body covered in this dark, like black goo, and I take the body wash, and I also like picture my hand with some light, like a white light on it, and I scrub the black stuff off of my body, like visually inside. And then once I'm done, I picture the water that's like white light and it's just falling on top of me. It's a good way to clear your energy, also to kind of ground yourself a little bit. And it just it takes away a little bit of that paranormal hangover after. And also drink a lot of water. That is also another thing. So yeah, that's my advice on a new psychic medium for paranormal investigating. Just a lot of things that you just have to keep in your head and get used to, but it can be a lot when you're starting out.
And Sky had a recommendation for you, but I put it up there because now I know your whole background. I'm not sure if Sky knows your whole background. And that is what she's recommending is very important. I know you would agree with what she's saying for somebody who really hasn't done much before or is just getting into it. But Carly Sky has been dealing with this stuff since she was about 13 and dealt with a realistically 10-year demonic haunting, where her person who trained her was a spirit.
Yeah.
Potentially, maybe even an angel.
He was up my butt for 7.5 years.
Taught
I want to say.
Taught you Reiki, taught you protection.
Taught me spiritual protection.
Yeah.
Taught me how to close portals. How to pretty much push negativity back with my own energy, or not. Well, and with the higher power, the help of a higher power.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She had some very divine intervention with hers because nobody believed her. Mother thought she was crazy, or nobody else believed her. Well, both your parents did. Yeah. Nobody believed you. And these things tormented her for 10 years still. She finally got to the point where she was able to, through her faith and belief and stuff like that, basically tell them to go take a walk.
Yeah. That was last Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I figured nice time for that to happen, huh?
I know, isn't that insane?
Yeah. So that's her. So I'm going to put this back up about the Bigfoot stuff because this is what my sister's experience was. Let's get back to that for a minute. Was way up in the woods on a dirt road picking blueberries. Saw it crouched down eating berries. Saw me and stood up and walked off into the deep woods. I'd like to even hear. I bet Steve would actually like to hear more about, and as one guy who was on the show with him, about what you actually saw with regards to how it was eating. What was it actually doing? Not a lot of people have experience of seeing them actually just out there eating, or like I saw, drinking, and they had a lot of questions for me about, well, what was it doing? Say, how did it drink? Did it use its hands? Did it, suck? And it actually had its face down the water, kind of sucking up the water, which is like any other type of animal, because I do believe it's along those lines, or even a person. If you wanted to get a lot of water in your system fast, you're going to put your face in there and suck it into your mouth. That's the fastest way to get more water into your system, is by doing that. Just don't suck it through your nose and you'll choke. So yes, Shelley, you should go to Steve's show some Sunday night and talk to him, or I can just even put you in touch with him. And Barry says maybe I saw a juvenile Bigfoot since it was just over 6 feet tall. It was seen a lot. There's different size. Supposedly there's different aspects of, or different genome of Bigfoot. It was, and I didn't know this till I talked to Steve. What he told me is I saw the Kinderhook creature, which was, there was in the year that I saw it, there was hundreds of sightings of the same creature in this one area. Even there was a local woman in that area that said it was coming to her farm every day. And she'd put apples and different stuff out for him and come to her farm every day and eat, and she would watch it. So it's kind of an interesting story, if I remember that right, of what that happened. But that Steve Culls is a guy you could ask about that. But he did tell me it was a Kinderhook creature, so you can probably look that up and see about the sightings, and that was the time frame that I saw it in. They do think it was an adult. They don't think it was a juvenile. Just based on how it was kind of acting, and the fact that it was always seen on its own. Yeah, check up on that. But I don't think it was a juvenile. I didn't get the sense of it being something juvenile in nature. But then again, it could have been, I suppose. But the guys who did it don't think that it was. I think it was an adult. Oh, and Barry, well, that was a question from Barry to Sky. Are you using any books for your training in demonology? If so, what would you recommend as a good book or two? Actually, Barry, I could tell you that I would start with, because I'm studying demonology myself right now, I would start with a book by Father Amort called The Exorcist Tells His Tale. I think that's what it's called. But look up books by Father Amort. He was the top exorcist in the Catholic Church for a long time. He has some very good insights, though, on why demons. He has another book out too, but there's several good books out there that I've been told to read. That, yeah, you can find. But start with a Father Amort and look those books up. We can post those here if we like. And they're available on Amazon.com. Not that I'm pushing Amazon, but everybody's stuck home right now. Where else are you going to go to do your shopping, right? And you'll find them easier on Amazon. So check them out there. You're just going to find them easier there, and they'll get delivered fairly quickly. And let me see if I can pull up one of these for you. He has a book, Father Amort, Amorth is how it's spelled. My Battle Against Satan. The one I'm reading right now is Exorcist Explains the Demonic. Right. The first book I read was An Exorcist Tells His Story. Again, these are all available on Amazon.com. I'm going to try to see if I can post that link for you guys right now. See if that works. that link doesn't come up, let me know.
No, it did.
It was a search result. So if it doesn't become active, let me know.
No, you're good.
All right, it's active. Okay, it's an active link. Okay, so you can go there, and those are some good books to start with. Give you some really good insight. Granted, he is a Catholic priest, Roman Catholic priest, but it's some really good insight on it there. I learned a lot from the first book, and I'm learning a lot from the second book in regards to that. And check it out. Yeah, Shelly, when these things. Oh, so it was grabbing bunches of berries with its hands, eating from his hands. Yeah. Put its face in the hand. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, bears don't do that. You're right. Yeah, bears do not do that.
Sounds like hangry.
And Ellen, of course, says if it had on cargo shorts, it was Jack. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Ellen. Why are you saying I'm that hairy? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, I probably would eat that way though. Yeah, shove them in my face. So that's it. Any other questions today, anybody? Any good questions? Anything else you want to talk about? I am kind of exhausted, so I might just end early here tonight. But if you want to check out any of my books, you can find them online at Amazon.com. Just look up my name, Jack Kenna. Ellen says yes. I don't know what that was about.
Probably you in cargo shorts.
And Nick says he apologized. Oh, okay. Don't worry about that. We were all busy on the 4th of July. It's no big deal. Yep. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick. That's fine. You send me that video. That's with the information on the video. That's fine. No problem. Yes, Ellen. I would eat those berries with my hands, shove them in my face, like I do with onion rings. Yes, she knows that. So. But again, everybody. If you're looking for my books online, you can check them out at Amazon.com. Just look it up. Just look me up there at Jack Kenna. You'll find all my books there, or on BarnesandNoble.com. And if you do know what events we're going to be at, just go to our website. Go to my website, jackkenna.org. You can also go to spiritsofnewengland.org, and all the stuff we're going to be involved with is also there, along with Ellen and all that. But yeah, you can go there and check it out. I just thought I'd throw that up there again for you guys. That's it. We're good to go. All right. Well, we appreciate you all watching today. Again, I apologize for keeping this short tonight. I love you all. We love you all. Carly, you got any last things you want to talk about or anything you want to discuss?
Stay positive. It's very important now.
And be a narwhal.
And be a narwhal.
Be a narwhal. Be a narwhal.
Be a narwhal.
You're hiding your. There you go. Be a narwhal. There you go. Be a narwhal, everybody. It's a good thing to be.
When the world goes to shit, be a narwhal.
Be a narwhal. You use the S word on our show.
Oh, I'm tired, man. It's okay.
No, we use our S word. We can use all kinds of words here. That's why it would have been fine for Sarah to post that image, because we are not rated for children.
That's okay. That is a funny Carly story, though. Okay, bye.
Oh, you got a Carly story? Okay,
yeah.
Finish up. Go ahead.
When I was in high school, okay, a bunch of actually, I would say it was more like middle school. When all the kids were talking around and they were talking about how someone said the S word, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say the S word, because I just came up. I was like, I can't say the S word, and they all looked at me because they know how naive I am. And they're like, Carly, what do you think the S word is? And I go up and I go, come here. Shit. And they start laughing hysterically. Okay, I am like mortified because these people are making fun of me because I said a bad word. And I went home that day and I was like, Mom, You gotta swear at me. Like, you set me up for failure. Like, seriously, what the hell? Like, you gotta tell me all the swear words so that I know what they are, so that when I go to school, I don't get into the situation.
You changed that story.
Did I? No, wait.
Or is it the other story?
No, what are you talking about?
You told me another story that you once, the girls were all sitting around talking about the
Was it
C
the C
word.
word?
The
Oh
C
my god,
word.
it was the C word.
And Carly goes, they go, Carly,
Dude.
they know she was so naive, so they go to Carly, Carly, what's the C word? And
I
she's up
said
to him and
crap.
goes,
It's the same word.
crap.
It's the same word. It's the same
And they
meaning.
laughed their asses off because,
Yeah, crap. Yeah.
they weren't talking
That's
about
even,
crap, right?
you
Yeah,
know
they were
what?
talking about the other C word.
It's the same meaning. Anyway.
Oh, you could have happened the
Yes.
other way too. I don't know. You could have had it happen to you more than once. I don't know. I was going to
in my head as I was saying that, I go, what other
I thought you were
don't
trying
know
to
what
keep
the
it
other
more
S word
clean for the
was.
show is actually what I thought you were trying to do.
Yeah. There we go. We'll go with that one. See, I haven't slept much either. So
True, we both have not had
we
a
both
lot
have not
of
had a good sleep.
me because of my back and my legs, which keeps you up.
So anyway,
See, Jackson ended it with a yawn. See, so there you go again, Sarah. That another one just got me. Sorry about that's.
So it was
another
a C
ghost
word.
just got me. Yep.
Darn.
Darn it anyway.
I botched it. Anyway, those are people who are watching who know me. You know that story, and you know that was messed up. I was scarred.
And she was scarred for life.
So
and narwhals rule. Narwhals rule.
Narwhals.
I am a narwhal. Yep. Everybody's a narwhal.
Yes.
Actually, Ellen McNeil would tell you I am a wombat. Jack Kenna is a wombat. If you don't know what a wombat is, look it up. I could tell an interesting story about that stuffed narwhal, but I'm not going to. Maybe another time.
She's snorting. I am snorting. I think I just.
It's funny though. It is funny. It was when I was purchasing it for Carly, and what the girl behind the counter while ringing it up was doing to the horn. She had her hand on the horn. She had one hand on the horn of the narwhal. She had her other hand ringing it up, and I took all my gumption not to start laughing hilariously and say something to the girl behind the desk. But I didn't. I just smiled, thanked her, and took it away. But the narwhal was molested, basically. So let's leave it at that, and leave you with that thought for tonight. And everybody, we love you all. You have a good night. Yes, we're having a whale of a time out here. Yes, that's for sure. So we'll leave you with that little laugh. If you could figure out what I just told you was happening to that poor narwhal. But good night, everybody. We love you all. And Bob Maloney and Carl, we need to get together again here pretty soon. Actually, we'll see you guys down at Gettysburg Bash. I know you're going down, so we will see you down there. We'll have to do lunch or breakfast or something. All right. Love you guys all. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Good night.